Hi, this is Gayle with BERNINA of Naperville, and it's almost time. Chris has the van loaded up. He's probably at the warehouse right now. And why am I so excited? And why are we looking at an empty shelf behind me? That's because today is the day that we get our floor models of the new 7 Series Pro models, the 3 Series, the Maker, and I'm really excited over these hoops. I've got my whole display ready to go for that sock hoop attachment, and of course the magnet hoops and everything. So only a little bit longer, I think. I dressed up in everything. Oh yeah, and by the way, this dress was a free pattern from Mood Fabrics, and I decided not to do it in black. I did it in this green print from Heather Bailey from Figo Fabrics, and I think it looks pretty good. I wore it to the closing banquet with those Louboutins, but today I'm wearing it because we have clothing club tonight, and it's a special day. It's a big day, right? Okay, so behind me, we've got the 325, the 335, a gift with purchase up there, the B68 Bernina Serger Maker, and the only reason you want that one is that teal vacuum cleaner, right? And then we've got our 7 Series. So I think I'm gonna start off with our cute little 325s. Okay. So let's take a moment to talk about the packaging of the 3 Series. So there's the 325 and the 335, because everything is meant to have as little waste as possible, because Bernina is a green company. So this little guy is packed beauty full side up. So we're just gonna carefully lift the lid here. And then, you know what, it's not like getting a Bernina without seeing this old handsome devil there, right? Thanks HP for your great machines. It is certainly a big day anytime we unbox something. All right, so cute little slide on table. The 325 and the 335, they come equipped with this. We've got our little bag of goodies, our quick reference manual, and our accessories catalog and the warranty card are all packed in here. And look at this little bag that holds the feet. That is super cute. So let's open that up first. I gotta open anything that's different. So this little drawstring pouch has your extra needles, height compensation tool, oil, 2 bobbins, your 3 spool caps. Those are standard with all of the Berninas. And then we've got a blind hem foot, zipper foot, overcast foot, foam pad, manual buttonhole foot, seam ripper, and dust brush in there. Oh, and look at this guy. This is your dust cover. That's adorable. And the dust cover and the drawstring bag are made out of recycled materials. So that's another way that, this is, we're thinking about the earth and, how we have to all live in harmony with each other, and eventually there's gonna be too much garbaggio, and this is a great way to reduce all of that stuff and reduce the carbon footprint, right? I know, don't come at me. There is styrofoam in here, but we have to get these things safely from Thailand somehow, right? So here's our machine. Look at this little guy. Ooh, I love it. So this is the foot control. We're gonna talk about that in just a minute, but let me go ahead and get this guy lifted out of our box. All right, isn't it cute? It's nice and round and aerodynamic and cute, and I'm ready to plug it in. So I'm gonna go put this on our shop and shop. I've got the perfect spot for it. Ooh, do you hear something? Bobbin winder was on, and I gotta pick my language. And I wanted to tell you that, so we've got the 335 here and the 325 side by side. There's a few new little design changes. One of those is that our feed dogs drop right here at this button, so I can clearly see when the feed dogs are down or up. You can also notice that the 335 has the housing for the freehand system. I mentioned in an earlier video that it doesn't come with the knee lever, but it is loaded here and not available on the 325. Now, something that you can get for your 325 is the automatic buttonhole foot number 3A that actually comes with the 335. And we'll be doing a little intro lesson later, but for right now, these are gonna sit here and be pretty and wait for all the people to play with them. I also mentioned a new foot control. Now, this isn't like new in the sense that it does anything differently than the other foot controls that would have come with the 3 Series normally. You can see here the other option and now the newer option. This one is a little bit more slimline, and it's got these nice little ridges that tend to like grip your foot a little bit easier when you're using it. Also, the cord winds up a little bit differently, and I actually think that the little feet on here stick to the floor a little bit better. So there's a little improvement. Plus, the foot control plugs in to the back of the machine. It goes like just around the corner here on the back of the machine. Okay, now that the 3 Series is up on the shelf and ready to go, I'm going to tackle the big pile of 7 Series Pro machines. So right here is the 735. So let's get this down. Well, you're gonna have to come down here with me. Now, it's not a huge secret that I've done a few of these unboxing videos before, and don't get your knickers in a twist, but this one is not a whole lot different than our 790 Pro and all of that stuff. The one thing that you might like is that they now tell you exactly how to pack the machine back and take it out of the box right here on the top. I kind of dig that. And big surprise, there's that old handsome devil again. You're gonna see him a lot today. So yeah, off you go, HP. All right, so now the 735, it is a sewing and an embroidery machine. I'm not unpacking the modules. There's really not a whole lot to see there. And quite honestly, there's not a whole lot to see in here either. But just for those of you that are new to Bernina and you've never seen a 735 being unboxed before, they come with the slide-on table. Then in here, there is the knee lever, the same knee lever that you can purchase to go with your 3 Series, but the 735 comes with that. And then we've got a little accessory box, which is this right here, which we will load with our feet. So hang on one second while I pop this out of here. Now, the 735 Pro comes standard with the walking foot, and that's the standard walking foot, the white one, not the red one, but there you go, you're gonna need that. You know, another reason is the 735 doesn't have the dual feed because the 5mm machines do not have dual feed. So, but a lot of you really do like the 735 machines or any of those machines that do just the 5mm wide stitching for, like, you know, your intricate piecing and garment construction and things like that. Bobbins and straight stitch needle plate, some oil, and the feet are all in this little bag here. So we're gonna load that in the accessory box. Power cord. Now we can take this. Whoa. Almost forgot about the manual. Haven't read one of those in years. All right, so now it's in here. Dust cover, plastic bag, and they're not getting any lighter, my friends. Oof. Okay, it's a good thing I made room on the shop and shop because I'm running for it right now. And then finally, Hello, I'm over here. Okay. And finally, before you go and toss this box, there's a really important thing that you need to search for on all of your machines when you get a new Bernina. Do you see it right there? It's the automatic buttonhole foot. It's hidden down there in the styrofoam, so that's why you want to squeeze every little morsel of styrofoam when you get a new machine. And then over here, there's our foot control. Right in there, I gotta pull that out. I'm starting to get a little sweaty. I got 2 more to go. So down here is the 700 and the 770 Pro. Let's go for the Pro. Wait, they're both Pros. I mean, let's go for that 770. Okay, wait, what are you doing up there? You gotta come back down here. Come on, come on, come. Bend, bend. There you go. All right, so I think, rumor has it, this is the 770 Pro. So let's have a look. Sure is. Maybe. Who's this guy? Quick pop quiz. All right. So we're not going through everything step by step. We're just grabbing what we need, baby. This is very similar to the 735, except this time, instead of that walking foot, because we have dual feet on the 770, we're getting a Berzur. And for those of you that don't know what a Berzur is, that's a BSR, a Bernina stitch regulator, and this is what you use for your free motion quilting, right here. Okay, we'll need the power cord. I'm gonna chuck that over there. Okay, and now let's take out our case. The store is opening. That's how long it's taken me to open up all of these. It's been a couple hours. It doesn't seem like it when I speed up that film, right? Okay, and here are our feet and stuff. Those are gonna get packed nicely in there. And then I think, once again, I keep forgetting this manual, but here's our manual and our other resources there. And now we can go in for the machine. And I think this one, it weighs just the same as the other. So when you see me pick this up like Hercules, you'll just have an appreciation of how very strong I am. Okay, here we go. Unwrap it from its little condom. Oh yeah, light as a feather. Ooh. All right, what did we learn from our last box? What are we going down deep in here for? Well, the dust cover, that's an obvious one, but what's in there? What was this? Very good. The buttonhole, and right here, that's right, it's the foot control. All right, I'm gonna put this back on the shelf. I'm hot. There's one more. And by process of elimination, I can only imagine that this is the 700. Now, the 700 Pro is an embroidery only machine, and where are you going? Are you backing away from me? Huh? Okay, anyway, so the 700 Pro is an embroidery only machine, so we're not gonna have nearly the accessories that you saw, but got another picture of everybody's favorite poster boy right here. Then, yeah, see, lots of empty stuff. You don't get a table. You don't get a table with this one, but you could put a table on here to stabilize some of your large hoops. We get a power cord. You do get an accessories holder with it, some extra thread, and your other little accessories and everything that will load into the table. Obviously, we don't get a freehand system. Manual, and we can put that away, get rid of this. And this one though, one special thing that you do get with the 700 is the multiple spool rack. So for sure, you're gonna use this a lot because of the embroidery, and it's just, the multiple spool rack is nice because it helps you clean the table from all of those threads that, you know, would be surrounding it. Dust cover. and the machine. So, woo woo, here I go. I'm so muscular now. It's like doing kettlebell. There we go. And then, just so you know, we don't have to dig deep down into this box because we don't have a button holder to look for, nor do we have a foot control because there's no foot control with the BERNINA 700. You can purchase a foot control for it if you want, if you're doing something like stump work or my little mug rugs where you're sitting there actually making the machine go with the foot control, but you don't get one with the machine. Okay, so this is our 700 Pro, and I just wanted to show you that this comes with a special little protection for the foot, and you're just gonna pull this guy down and lift the presser foot holder on this, and then you can throw this away once you remove it, and the foot is actually in the embroidery module. So you're gonna pull that little small cardboard box out that has the number 26 foot and put your foot on here. But this is just to protect it while it's being shipped. So now, before I show you the machines, I wanted to just take a moment to just talk a little bit about what's happening with the BERNINA 7 Series line. So prior to today, we had a 735, a 770, Quilter's Edition Plus, and a 700. Well, those machines, they look the same on the outside, but the new Pro machines have that Stitch Precision 2 built in, which is the improved thread take-up, the pre-tensioner improvement, some little tweaks in the bobbin area, and that kind of thing. Now become a 735 Pro, a 770 Quilter's Edition Pro, and a 700 Pro. So that Stitch Precision 2, in addition to that, these machines all have the fully automatic needle threaders, you know, that little robot that threads the machine, the pinpoint placement laser, and Wi-Fi connectivity. So if you're doing embroidery on these, you have that baby monitor function. And if you have the BERNINA embroidery software, you'll be able to send your designs wirelessly through that Wi-Fi device. Now, there's some improvements with the firmware on these machines. You're going to be able to read customizable quilt designs just like you can on the 790 Pro and the 990. You're going to have the 4-point placement, morph, and fit. You're going to be able to align and distribute designs. So, you know, justify them all in the center, justify them to the left and right, and evenly distribute. So we will do classes and videos and everything on these topics just to, you know, confirm, but this is just a little overview on the line. We have a QWERTY keyboard, and then, of course, we just mentioned design transfer to and from the BERNINA using the Embroidery 9 software. So you're amazed by my fantastic job of unboxing, but you're like, gee, Gayle, which 700 Pro series is right for me? Well, there's a lot of choices, right? And let's just start with the 735 Pro. This is maybe the ideal machine for you if you are a precision sewist, patchworker, crafter, and/or maker. It's accurate patchwork piecing with those narrow feed dogs, that tried and true BERNINA stitch by stitch precision. It's fantastic for machine quilting because you can use the stitch regulator with it if you purchased it separately. It comes with a walking foot for your straight line quilting, and it just will blast through tons of different fabric. Plus, with the optional embroidery, you really have so many tools in your tool chest with this machine. And so just to give you an overview of where everything is, you can see we've got that automatic threader and then the pinpoint laser and then those little feed dogs. It says Stitch Precision 2 here on the front. And we have a little bit newer firmware that's going to give us those features for morphing and things like that. And of course, we've got our Wi-Fi connectivity that we can see right up there in the corner. The 7 Series machines in general, they feature this large 7-inch color touchscreen. They all have the jumbo bobbin. I've mentioned the stitch precision. I've mentioned the automatic needle threader and the pinpoint laser. I just told you that it's BSR compatible. And we've got the 5.5 millimeter stitch width for precise seams and patchwork. It's including the walking foot.
We've got the customizable Bernina Q-matic or BQM designs. We've got 2 and 4 point placement with morph. It includes endless embroidery, the align and distribute designs, and the Wi-Fi capability. The standard sewing feet that this machine comes with is the #1 reverse pattern, the automatic buttonhole foot #3A, the zipper foot #4, jeans foot #8, open embroidery foot #20. This one's great for doing your applique and decorative stitches, and then the walking foot. Now, if you want a little bit more, my preference obviously is I love the machines with the 9 mm wide stitch capability because I love to embellish. I love to do decorative stitching. And personally, I don't have a problem with my wee little 1/4 inch seams in my garment sewing. I mean, you can tell there's a ton of stuff that flies out of my sewing room on my 9 mm machines. And this one is just ideal for any quilter from beginning to end of your quilting journey. Accurate patchwork and piecing, large selection of quilt-specific stitches, free motion quilting, because we get that Bernina stitch regulator included with this one, and our computerized quilting with the embroidery module. So here's a little overview. It looks just like the 735. It's got all of those things that we mentioned with the 735, except the wider feed dogs down here. And then all of our top features, pretty much just the same, except we've got one thing here, Bernina dual feed. So on the 770, you have that built-in dual feed system that is very similar to pretty much a walking foot that is built into your machine. The standard foot package for the Bernina 770 Quilters Edition Pro is the reverse pattern foot #1C, reverse pattern foot #1D, because D stands for dual feed. You get your automatic buttonhole foot #3A. Your zipper foot this time is a 4D, which is meant for dual feed. Embroidery foot #20C. And remember, C stands for the fact that it's coded, so it knows to do 9 mm stitching if you have the C feet. And then we've got a dual feed 97D patchwork foot and the Bernina stitch regulator foot. Okay, so now let's say you love your Bernina, you love your 770 plus or your 770 or maybe your 750 or 730. Remember those dun 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 dun, dun 730s out there? Well, maybe you just want to embellish. Maybe you just want to put your money down on state-of-the-art embroidery capabilities. So the 700 Pro is ideal. It's great add-on in your sewing room for an additional tool to personalize home decor, apparel, quilts, clothing, whatever you can think of. It's really awesome. And don't forget, it's going to have that automatic needle threader. It also has the laser pointer. It's got the Wi-Fi connectivity. It's got the embroidery software features, just like the 790 Pro and the 770s, and that stitch precision. It features all of the same things that you see, except we're not going to be able to do regular sewing on this machine. We have a little bit fewer accessories with this because, quite honestly, there aren't that many things if you're just doing embroidery. However, the cool thing about this machine is if you want to do free motion couching, if you want to do some double needle work, if you want to do the cut work, all of that, you can actually do with this machine. So you can add some of the free motion feet to this. You can add a foot control if you are doing some really um, fastidious stuff there and you want total control over that stitch by stitch on your machine. You can add the Bernina foot control or use the foot control from one of your other Berninas. I also like to embroider with a slide-on table, so you might want to add one of those. The one thing you're not going to need to add is that multiple spool rack that will clear your table of just spools everywhere because you can line them up neat and orderly using that multiple spool rack. Finally, I just wanted to take a minute because some of you are going to be like, well, Gayle, with the 735 Pro, the 700 Pro, or the 770 Quilters Edition Pro, why do I want a Bernina 790 Pro? Well, Essentially, the 790 Pro is just the creme de la creme of the 7 Series machines. And there are two features on it that really, I think they're the unsung heroes of this machine, and that's multi-direction stitching and the stitch designer. So multi-direction stitching is where the feed dogs are going to not only move the fabric forwards and backwards through the machine, but they will move it through at every different angle, which allows you to stitch beautiful designs without having to pivot your fabric. Those stitches are all indicated by the little cross next to the stitch, but also you can take any stitch like the tulip stitch and you can stitch that at different angles for other types of embellishment without having to pivot your fabric. Additionally, you have the stitch designer. Now that's good to just edit a design on the machine, but you can also just design your own stitch, draw a stitch from scratch, and you can draw a shape that you can then import into the embroidery side of the machine. So it really is a nice tool that gives you some design options without the use of a computer. Now, I don't know why we even have to ask this question, but why do I want a B990? Well, it is the best machine of all the Berninas. We have the multi-direction stitching, the stitch designer, yeah, everything that you saw prior to this. But we've got that camera scanner. Game changer. Oh my gosh, I use this all the time. I really don't know how I lived before this came out, right? We've got the built-in stitch regulator, so no more doing ruler work with short, long stitches or whatever. We can have Bernina stitch regulation with any free motion foot that Bernina offers. We've got 14 inches to the right of the needle. I mean, our long arm machines start at 16 inches, so this is pretty awesome. It's kind of my one-stop shop. And then that jumbo stitch functionality is amazing, where you can take those multi-direction stitches, make them smaller, make them up to 500% larger, and keep the integrity of the stitching. Just my 2 cents.
Okay, I'm pretty exhausted, but all the machines are up. I can't wait for you to see all the new pro features that they put on the 7 Series. I'm also really excited for you to see the 3. They're super cute, and I can't lie, I'm a little disappointed that our floor model hoops did not make it today. We are looking for the magnetic, the clamp, and the sock insert, but hoop springs eternal, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully next week. And for sure, if you want to see the new hoops in action, the new pros in action, and the new 3s in action right here in person in the store, don't forget, we've got the Road Show coming. We're calling it the Pro Show. And we've got Bernina's own Julie Bridgeman here to present that program. And it's totally free. We would love it if you could make it. We want as many people in this classroom and in this store as possible. But if you are going to join us, all I need for you to do is just go to BERNINAofNaperville.com, find the Pro Show, and then sign up. 100% free of charge, and can't wait to see you. That's Friday, July 18th at 2 o'clock. And it's about a 2 to 4 presentation, but we're keeping it open another hour just so you can touch and feel the new machines. So I've got one more machine to open, but that's going to be for a different video. But until then, don't forget to check out our Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville. And there, if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, that would be fantastic. All right. I think I'm going to change clothes. The dress is all sweaty because I've got that little maker to play with. All right. See ya.